This is Rock Hall Robin, and you're listening to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast.
You're listening to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast. The Panorama's #1 source for news, reviews, and thoughts about the new wave rock legends, the Cars. Oh, and a little bit of Steel Wool, Sunshine, and Rainbows.
Welcome to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast, episode 46, Cleveland Connection. I'm Dave. Oh, and by the way, in the world of fandom events, conventions, the words, I'm going to go up to my hotel room and change shirts is actually code for, I got to go take a poo. It's common knowledge, folks. And joining me is the best Uber driver ever in Cleveland. And right now she's a bubbling cauldron of snot. Co-host Donna, Sweet Purple June.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, that voice.
It's terrible. But
It
at least I have a voice. I was out. I was whisper mode for like 3 days.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not good.
Yes.
Well, you know, Cleveland will do it to you.
I guess.
Donna caught the bug from someone in Cleveland. I'm not one to point fingers, but there were some sick people in Cleveland. Becky Podrick. I don't know.
Well, it's all my own fault because I was insisting on hugging people even though I knew they were sick. So
Really?
I get what I
And
deserve.
Weren't you like sharing a soda with Becky too?
No, I wasn't sharing a soda.
Oh, Becky, this is so good. Here, take a bite.
Maybe she wiped her nose and then put her hand in the bag of Huckleberry Taffy and
She might have.
left her germs everywhere.
She might have. You never know.
No. It's
All
fine.
right. All right.
I'm getting over it.
All right. Well, we got a great show talking about our times that we had in Cleveland, like getting sick. And hey, let's start off with some news, Donna. We got some good news.
Okie dokie.
First up, everybody's seen that Rick and Paulina's house is up for sale.
Yes, one of their houses.
Yeah. What are they asking for that puppy?
Wasn't it like 15 million?
Drop in the bucket. Not a problem.
It was, it was interesting. Gosh, I can't remember now how big it was, but it wasn't very wide. You know, it's sort of like this. It was 5 stories tall and not very wide, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. It has like 12 bathrooms or something.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we got a peek in the vault.
We did. You know what we should do? We should do like that, like a fake mover scam, you know, get ourselves some coveralls.
Yeah.
You know, sunshine movers
I was
on the
just
back.
gonna
Yeah.
say,
Yeah. Sunshine movers. Get into that vault.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not convinced that that's the actual vault, though. I think that's like a faux vault, and that there's like a real one, like deep in the basement somewhere. It's sort of a dark with like the one light bulb with the like string thing you have to pull to turn the light on. It's all sort of dark and that's the real vault.
Kind of like Grandpa Munster's laboratory.
Yes, exactly.
I bet so. Well, you're the research person, Donna, so it's your job to get on to find out what movers they're using, and then how do we apply.
Okay.
And we're gonna, it's obviously you're gonna have to go to New York for a spell,
Well,
and then get on that job, and man, we'll be in.
Well, it's we, Dave, not just me. And have you ever seen the movie The Italian Job?
No, I have not.
Oh my gosh, Dave, one of my all-time favorite movies. You have to see it. The Italian Job with Mark Wahlberg. Oh my gosh, because I was going to say we'll do it like The Italian Job.
I will check it out.
You'll have to now, just so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so we'll be on the same page.
That's right.
Okay. All right, so I understand from Cleveland, when you were being my Uber driver in Cleveland, you had a Zazzle story.
I do.
So I've just been waiting for 2 weeks now to hear the Zazzle story.
Oh, you and me both. Okay, but it goes along with the next item on our agenda. You have a package I mailed to you this week, right?
Yes.
And you have it in front of you?
We're going to do a live unboxing. Yeah.
Okay, so the Zazzle story goes hand in hand with that box. So I need you to go ahead and open your box. And
Oh, I got to open my box now? Okay.
Yes. And this was your Christmas present that was very late because of my Zazzle story.
Okay. Oh, hey, Huckleberry Taffy.
Oh, well, yeah. Huckleberry Taffy.
That's a given, isn't it?
Yes.
Listen to that, people. That's Huckleberry Taffy.
And do you see
And
the little...
what the hell are these?
Remember I told you...
What the heck are these? People, the only thing I can, well, they're called silicone hand tongs. And the only thing I think of is like a person who's afraid to touch themselves while going to the bathroom.
But they're tiny. Okay.
Yeah. And they clap with you.
Remember I told you I was sending something for your grandbabies to play with?
Oh, how nice of you, Donna. That's so sweet of you.
It sounds so bad the way you described it. But yes, they're just little tongs with little silicone hands on the end. They're like for fine motor skills, and you can tweak their little noses with them, and it'll be funny.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Well, thank you very much. Anything for the grandkids, man.
Of course.
Beautiful. Okay, then there's from Rock Hall Robin.
Oh, yes.
Says, oh, rock star.
Yeah. On Sunday when I went to visit the Rock Hall, I went there briefly. Anyway, she gave me some of those stickers, so I sent one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I won't stick that on anything. I just put that up in the podcasting den.
There you go.
I'm like leaning stuff against the wall at this point. And there's a little package.
Okay.
That obviously has something to do with Zazzle.
Okay, so you could unwrap that. That's your Christmas present in there.
Okay, well, here I go. Live unwrapping, people. All right. Ooh.
Now there's
unfucking believable.
There's two different things there, so look at both of them.
Okay, I see them. Cool. Okay, so these are all Post-its, and the first ones have a picture of our dear friend Rico, and it says, "What are you, some kind of moron?" I love that. I'll be using those. And then the other ones are say catchy tunes, sexy album covers. Awesome.
With the turbocharged logo, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
Right. So let's hear that Zazzle story. Wait, don't tell me it was something about Rico.
Oh, both of those designs gave me all sorts of problems. No.
Rico?
Okay. Rico, because, you've dealt with Zazzle, and I know that you're done with them, and I'm done with them now too, because I submitted this design. I made both of them at the same time, and I put in my order for both of them at the same time. And I get an email back from Zazzle, and they say, I'm sorry, we're not going to print these, basically in their whatever language they use. We're not going to print these
because Dave.
Because first they said because it violates copyright because it has to do with the cars. And they didn't address the Rico one at all at first. And so I said, of course, I emailed them back and said, no, turbocharge. And I actually had my first interaction with Dave Juskow because before I made the designs, I emailed him and said, I want to make this gift for Dave Curry. May I use your logo for the thing? And he was, of course, so nice and was like, oh, absolutely, go for it. So I emailed Zazzle and said, this logo was designed by David Juskow for this movie called Turbocharge, and I have permission from the copyright holder to use this design. It's not a problem. So I tried to resubmit my order, and they're like, no, we're not licensed to sell merchandise that has to do with the cars. And then they said, and also, because my original design said, what are you, some kind of freaking moron? For the Rico one.
Yeah.
They said that the word freaking was considered profanity.
Oh, give me a break.
I know. And they wouldn't. So they're like, so I said, the first one, this is a podcast thing. I said, I'm the copyright holder of this Rico design and that phrase. This is from our podcast, and so that's not a problem. And then I have permission from David Jeskow to use this other one, so that's not a problem. They wrote back, no. Freaking is considered profanity, so we don't print profanity. And of course, they're always giving me links to like, please check our guidelines. Like, and then the other one was, no, we're not licensed to sell stuff that's copyrighted by the Cars or has to do with the Cars. And so I emailed her back again and I said, okay, I'm surprised that freakin' is considered profanity, but I can change that design. But the other one, and I give her this like long explanation. Let me tell you how copyright works. The words "the Cars" are not copyrighted. You can use that anything. I said, I'm public relations coordinator for this book called Let's Go, Benjamin Orr and the Cars. We did not have to get permission to call the book Benjamin Orr and the Cars. It's okay to use the phrase the Cars in stuff. It doesn't mean, they write back. Unless we have permission from Cars Management and written permission from Cars Management and David Jeskow, we're not going to print this.
Oh, geez, Louise.
I know. And I said, I wrote back, you've got to be kidding me. I said, I can show you the screenshot of the permission I have from David Jeskow, but you want me to contact the management of the Cars? That is, ridiculous. That's so, you don't understand how this works. Like was so mad. I just said, screw it. Forget that other design then. I changed the thing from freaking to what are you, some kind of moron? Print these for me. Because Zazzle has such good quality products. It's hard to give them up. And I could actually... I know. And I could actually only find one other place that would print post-it notes. And that was Office Depot I finally found. And of course I had to pay an arm and a leg through, I didn't mean it like that, but it was worth it to me because I needed you to have those turbocharge post-its.
Yeah, man.
But I finally got Office Depot to do it, and I was just like, I hate you, Zazzle. I hate you.
We do hate you, Zazzle.
We do. I'm so, especially because, they made my panorama shoes, and I was prepared to worship the ground they walked on for the rest of my life, and now look what they've done.
Yeah. And I don't know how much we've talked about Zazzle on the pod, but the long story that I'm going to try to make short about Zazzle is that, back in the day when you couldn't really find any merchandise for the Cars, hey, I can make my own. I've always just made my own shirts. And, I've probably been a customer of Zazzle's for good, I'm going to say at least 10 years, at least. Mm-hmm. And, you make stuff and sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't. And it's kind of like when I was in high school and I had pretty good handwriting and I could make great notes. Please excuse Dave for a doctor's appointment at 10 a.m. Dave's mom, blah, blah, blah. Right. And they looked great. And I would write them for other kids too, And I don't know how many times I got out of class, especially my senior year, on this thing. Well, then one time when I actually had a note from my mom to get out, they denied me. They're like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? This is how Zazzle has worked. And this is why I left them because, I've gone through all these things. And then the last straw was I wanted to get a Cars podcast button mm-hmm. that said Rock Hall Robin.
Awesome.
Rob. And they wouldn't do it. And I go, wait. And I did the same thing you did. Wait, this is our podcast logo. I paid somebody to design this logo.
Right.
It's original art that we own, that we can use however we want to use. Nope. And I finally just went, screw you.
Yeah.
And that's when I pulled everything because I have like stores where I sold teacher shirts. And every August they just sell like hotcakes. I'm like, here, you want to let that go? Fine. Goodbye. Yeah. I told them to remove everything.
Wow.
Which they did. Yeah, they're idiots.
Well, it's so ridiculous. Just like I just remember getting the email from them and just sitting there flabbergasted. Like, you honestly are telling me you can't print something with the words "the Cars" on it. that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with their logo, nothing to do with their artwork. It's insane.
Incredible.
Oh, I was so mad.
Incredible.
So mad. And so then, of course, the gift is late, and it wasn't even going to be there in time for when I was going to see you in Cleveland. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. I can't wait to tell this story on the podcast.
Well, it's probably a good thing because I would have taken like one pad of these Rico ones and put them all over the place, everywhere I went, above
Yes.
the urinal, all kinds of places. Yeah.
Merry Christmas to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Catchy tunes,
Catchy
sexy
tunes.
album covers.
You got it.
I love it.
Well, let's get into our Cleveland episode for people who aren't aware or under a rock or whatever. We had a big get together in Cleveland over the Let's Go Orr Book event, and we had quite a few people from the Fanorama come together, including me and Donna. We got to finally meet in person, and so we're just going to talk about the weekend and the things that went on, and just kind of go from there. So, any initial thoughts, Donna?
It was just the best. It was such a great weekend.
Yeah, it was an awesome weekend.
Yes.
And probably good that it was scheduled 2 weeks ago because now the weather's gone to shit.
Yeah.
TSA has gone to shit.
Yeah, the timing couldn't have been better. I mean, we really nailed it.
Yeah. But here's how I sum up Cleveland, and because I was thinking about this on my way home from Cleveland. The big difference when in being in person with you is that you can physically hit me when I say something stupid. All of a sudden I realized I was in grave danger, and now I'm like Pavlov's dog, So whenever you say something, I'll probably like spontaneously self-bruise in my arm.
Did I hit you very much? I forget.
I think you hit me a couple times in Cleveland.
I might have. I'm pretty physical touch type of person, so yeah, I probably gave you a few whacks.
One of them hurt too. Just one of them.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Dave.
Yeah. Well, you were there one day before me. You arrived on Thursday.
I did.
Thursday the 10th.
Thursday night. Yep. I got there Thursday night, which was good because we had an early meeting with Ray Carr from WCSB radio station Friday morning. So I wanted to make sure and get there in time to get some rest. And yeah. So I got there Thursday night. And then you and I met up on Friday afternoon, early afternoon, right?
Yes. Because my flight got in at like 10:30.
That's right.
And I couldn't find my Uber driver guy. It was the craziest thing. I don't know if you rented a car. So
Yeah.
when you get at Cleveland, first of all, there was nobody in Cleveland Airport, which kind of freaked me out. I mean, it was like dead. And so I go out and there's a guy standing out there and he's like, "Are you waiting for the bus?" I'm like, "No, I'm waiting for my Uber driver guy." And he goes, "Oh, you gotta, just go down this way and you can wait for him there." So I went down, a few gates and waited and waited and waited. Guy, and they got like the GPS tracking. It shows that he's there.
Oh.
He's not there. And so I call him up and like, "What's the deal? I'm standing here." And he says, "Oh, you're not standing in the right place. You need to go back in and go up the escalators and do this and that or whatever." So I followed his directions. I found the place, and then I couldn't find him again. And thing is, I walked past him twice. You think the guy would go, "Hey, are you Dave?" No,
Right,
he just sits in the car and lets me walk past him twice. And so I'm calling him again, and I'm going, "Okay, I'm here. Where are you?" "Oh, I'm just down here at the end. Walk back down."
Jeez, buddy.
What are you, a freaking moron? What?
You would have slapped a Post-it note right on his forehead.
Like, jeez. Yeah, so I got into my hotel room probably going on by that time about 11:30 or so.
Okay.
And I had a wonderful lunch of biscuits from the airplane that I saved. It's like, and then I took a little nappy nap before you came to pick me up. So
Nice.
that's kind of yeah.
Well, when I pull into Cleveland, because of course this is only the second time, but it's my second time, and I love Cleveland so much because it's just all good memories for me. So I'm so giddy, and I'm just like so happy to everybody I meet, and of course I got to see Ben at the gate when I came off. He was, the Rock Hall poster was right there, and I had not seen that in the airport last time I was there, so I was just, it was just such a hyper sign for me that, oh, Ben's meeting me at the airport. And I went and got on the shuttle to go get my car, and I'm sure I just act like such an idiot because I'm so hyper and so happy to be there. So when I picked up my rental car, and they're like, "Are you here for business or pleasure?" And I'm just like, just a little bit of both. Just act like such a dork. And but everybody is so friendly in Cleveland. It's so helpful.
They were calling TSA at that point, going, "No, you need to search this lady."
I know. They're like, "Oh, we got another psycho on 3."
Ma'am, did you know there's a poundage limit on Huckleberry Taffy?
So it was just very cool. And I got my rental car, and of course I picked a car that was what I consider panorama blue. I know
Yeah.
someone argued with me about that.
No, it wasn't
It
panorama
was close
blue.
enough. It was as close as I could get to panorama blue. So in my mind, that makes it panorama blue.
Yeah.
And so, but just driving into town and downtown, my hotel was downtown, and just so many good memories, and just feeling like, oh, Cleveland, I just love you so much. So
Yeah, it is a nice town.
it is. It is.
I do like it.
The downtown area is really nice, and yeah, it was good.
So you and I went. Our first excursion was to the Rock Hall, and I also learned that you're not a GPS person.
No. Wait, what happened? I can't remember.
I was like, you don't know where you're going, do you? So it's this way. I know it's this way.
I
It's like,
kind of knew where I was going.
but I'm the one who pulled out the GPS, right?
Well, yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
live by the GPS. So we get to the Rock Hall, and we're looking for who, Donna?
Rock Hall Robin, number
Rock
one.
Hall Robin, yeah.
That's
and
right.
We get there, and it's like a game of Where's Waldo? Where's Robin? Where's Robin? I mean, we knew she was in there, but no one could tell us, precisely where she was.
Right. We just went from
Where's
employee
Robin?
to employee going,
Yeah.
we're looking for Rock Hall Robin.
Where's Rock Hall Robin? Where's she at? Where?
I wonder, I know she gets pats on the back for that, but I wonder if other employees just like roll their eyes. Like, her name is not Rock Hall Robin, okay?
Oh,
We all
yes,
work
it
here.
is.
I know. We're like, I'll fight you.
Yeah.
'Cause it
Yes,
is.
it is. Yeah. So when we did find her, she found us.
I think so. Yeah, she was coming back from break or something. I think.
Yeah, she came limping up on us
Yes, through one crutch.
like a hurt little puppy
Yes.
that needed to go to the vet. Yeah.
Yes.
Poor Rock Hall Robin. And, I can't remember what she did.
I
She
can't
fell.
remember. Or something fell on her foot, or I
No,
can't remember.
didn't she like fall over a curb or something?
Maybe that's what it was. I just remember you teasing her about, being involved in drug deals and other things, and that's how you get hurt, miss.
No, man. I tell you what, Robin, if I were you, I'd make some cool rock and roll shit up about how you hurt your leg and why you're walking on a crutch. I'd just make it some cool rock and roll shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what happened to your leg? Well, I made eye contact with Beyonce. I don't know.
I know. Well, let's see. Geddy Lee was there. It was after we were there, but
I got roughed up by Geddy Lee's posse.
there you go. There you go.
Something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, you can make up something.
I was hanging out with Iggy Pop. I don't know.
When all of a
That
sudden
guy put you in a crutch.
he took his shirt off, threw it on the floor in front of me, and I tripped over it.
Yeah. Oh no, I tell you something Robin would do. There's a little kitty cat stuck on the very apex of the Rock Hall pyramid.
Yes.
She'd climb up there and get that
She
kitty.
would. She would.
Go with that story, Robin.
Perfect.
Somebody had to save the kitty. Frickin' fire department wouldn't do it.
They weren't going to do anything.
So Rock Hall Robin had to climb up there, and just as she was taking her last step down, twisted her ankle.
It was up to her, and she made the sacrifice.
There you go.
Atta girl.
Yeah. So anyway, we didn't spend a whole lot of time in the Rock Hall. We
didn't.
We got some very garlicky pizza.
Yes.
And we saw Joe.
Yeah. Yep. Joe
over there, and we didn't. You know what we didn't do? Which I'm such a dumbass for not doing. I didn't even go up and see the Cars exhibit again. Now it's gone.
Oh yeah, I went on Sunday and saw it. But...
Yeah, I really wanted to see it again, but there I go.
You know what I didn't do was go into the Foster Theater. I can't believe I didn't go do that. I would have loved to have seen that. I've never been in it.
Just walk up and say, "Hi, I'm Donna. You might know me from my slide at the Agora show. Would you like to sign the screen?"
Dang it. Why didn't I do that?
Why didn't you? Yeah.
You could pretend like you were my bodyguard.
Yeah, no kidding. We should have done
sunglasses
that.
On. I know. Yeah, dang it. Next time.
Anyway, we had to leave because we had an appointment.
Yes.
At the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame archives.
Which, thank you so much for having the foresight to do that, Dave. That was awesome.
I didn't realize what that's like places like Fort Knox, man.
Yeah,
Think about it. You have to make an appointment to go there.
Yes.
It isn't like just walk in anytime. You got to make an appointment.
The door was locked. You have
the door was freaking locked.
Yeah, you can't just go in.
And then when the guy comes to the door, I'm like, "Oh, we're a little late, but yeah, we know. Come on in."
I know. He's like, "We've been waiting for you." Yeah.
Yeah, we're just like,
I'm
holy crap.
I know. It's a security guard too. It's not like it's some guy working there. It's like a security guard in uniform going, "Yeah, we've been waiting for you."
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have snipers stationed around there.
We should have checked. I bet they do.
We're in the crosshairs the whole time.
You know we were. I thought I saw a little red laser light thing on your chest. That must have been what that was.
I wouldn't doubt it. But it's an interesting experience because we had to go in, had to sign a release, and then we had to watch a little slideshow.
Yeah, a whole tutorial on how to...
It told us, things like, don't wipe your mouth with the photographs or...
Well, and you can't take a pen in. You have to have a pencil.
Yes, you can't take a pen in.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
And they were hardcore about it, too, because I think later I had a pen in my hand. They're like, no.
Yeah, and no pictures.
Yeah,
no
photos.
Pictures. Yeah. And so, what's the first thing Donna does?
Take a picture of you.
I'm going to take a picture of Dave. Boom. I just take that picture. I'm like, Donna, you couldn't take pictures. Oh, it was of you, though. I know.
I did look at the pictures. You can't really see any.
You can't see anything?
Well, you can't. Yeah, it's just you can see that it's a black and white photo, but, you can't really. I wasn't taking a picture of the picture, clearly.
You're taking a picture of the gloves, the white gloves.
Yes, you and your white gloves that you love wearing so much.
Which was awesome. But we were initially there to see anything from the Cars. I'd put that in. So if anyone is interested in ever going, you make your appointment, and you can also put in requests for, different bands that you want to see pictures of or memorabilia of or whatever. So we had that in already. And so we couldn't take pictures of the pictures. So I made sketches, sketches of the pictures.
And I have to ask, what are you going to do with those?
With the sketches?
Yeah.
Well, I made them for the podcast so that I can say, hey, the first picture we saw, Donna, well, first of all, these pictures were by Victor Calantoni.
Okay.
And he worked for Belkin, which was the concert promoters in Cleveland. And we had a series of like 9 pictures, 11 pictures, 12 pictures. A series of 12 pictures, most of them black and white. Unknown venue, but it was from September of 78.
Well, that's when the pictures were printed, right? That was the print date.
Yes, that was the
So,
print date.
yeah, that's kind of our research mystery to find out
Yeah.
what show that was.
Yeah. So picture number 1 was of Rick. I've got a nice little drawing of it. I think I'll post my little pictures.
There you go.
Picture number 2 was of Ben. Picture 3 was of Elliot and Ben. Picture 4 is Ben.
Okay.
Picture 5 was Rick with the Cars logo in the background, which is kind of cool. Next picture was Greg. Hey, Greg gets a photo. Picture 7 was Ben. Picture 8, Ben.
Heck yeah.
So that was the last of the black and white. So obviously majority of them were of Ben, which was cool. Then they went to there were color pictures. Same, and did we decide if it was from the same concert or was it from a different concert?
Yeah, 2 shows in the photos because of wasn't there a wardrobe change?
Yeah. There was a difference we saw in Ben's shirt, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was what it was.
But they were really, they looked like pictures. I mean, this is going to sound really stupid. They look like color pictures from the 70s. But and when I say that, I mean like your everyday average schmo kind of pictures from the 70s, not like professional photographer pictures.
Right.
That's what confused me. So it made me wonder if these were actually the same photographer or if these were just pictures that they got from somebody. They just didn't look professional, the color shots. But I think most all of them were band shots. Picture 9 was a band shot. Picture 10 was a band shot with Ben in the middle. Picture 11 was a band shot with Rick in the middle of the picture. And the last picture, there's actually 13. Picture 12 was Ben and Rick on either end, but it was a whole band shot. And then the last one was just of Rick, but they had you could see the silhouette of the crowd in front of the stage. So there you go. And I have just very, very, very detailed drawings of each one.
You spent some good time on those.
I think I'm going to write myself a little note on my Rico Post-it to post some of these pictures.
Yes,
that's what I need.
Should.
Yeah.
You should do
Yep.
that. Well, and you remember we couldn't even take any of I guess we had our notebook and our pencils, but our jackets and everything all had to be in a locker.
Yes. Yeah.
And then but then so that you're right. So we looked up. They had already pulled those photos for us because you said in advance what we were looking for. But then remember, I asked the gal. Well, and it turns out that the gal that was helping us was so friendly, and she was a Cars fan.
Yes.
And so she was excited to help us with our research. So I suggested, asked her if she had anything from Upbeat. So then she did pull some photos. She was able to find one photo that had the grasshoppers in it, taken by George Shuba. And in that same folder were probably 4 or 5 other pictures of the Beatles. You remember that?
Yes, those were incredible.
They were, and I've done some research.
They were like 11 by 14 maybe, or 16 by 20.
Yeah, they were nice big
pictures.
prints. Yeah, they were huge. Because I did order the digital copies of the grasshoppers on Upbeat, and then one of the pictures, I need to send those to you, Dave, I forgot. The picture of the crowd, the audience that was watching the Beatles perform, which is very cute. So.
Awesome. And those were very low resolution though, weren't they? I mean, we paid like 50 cents a piece or something. What was the deal?
Yeah, I think it was like 75 cents. I think you ended up
Yeah.
giving her like a flat $2 and just, being like, keep the change.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we were high rock and rollers.
That's right. Just throwing
Keep the
cash.
change, darling. There you go. Yeah.
Partner.
Yeah. Yeah. But a very interesting experience. You could just spend all day in that place.
Yes.
As long as security didn't get you, for some.
Yeah, I wish. Oh man, I wish I had known. I guess in one sense what I wish I would have been able to put some forethought into what I wanted to do and how we wanted to spend our time. But we were so limited. I think, what did we have, like an hour? Because I had to get
Yeah.
back and get ready to go
Yeah.
down to, what would I have going on? Oh, we had a radio interview. Um, that evening, Joe was on the air with Ray Carr again, so we had to head down to the studio. So we were pretty short on time, which was a bummer.
Yeah. So you went your way. I went back to the hotel. And my night was I went down to that restaurant downstairs. I just wanted a burger. Just a burger. I go down, and it's kind of I can't remember the name of the place, but it's kind of high society kind of place. I don't know what you'd call it, but I just went to the lady, yeah, the hostess, and I go, yeah, I'm in the hotel here at the Loft, and you guys got a burger? Can I get a burger to go or something? Oh, we have the fla burger or whatever. I'm like, okay. And does that come with anything? Well, it comes with our blah 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 chips. Okay, cool, whatever. And she said it'll be about 20 minutes. So I sat there and waited, and people were just staring at me. I guess they don't have many carry-out orders. I don't know what the deal is, but and then so she brought out the little bag, and I went back upstairs to my room, and I opened it up, and the first thing I open up is that some kind of seafood salad thing, and which I like seafood, but I was like, this isn't what I ordered, and I just went, oh, and then I realized they screwed up my order because I opened up the other one expecting my burger, and it's a big meatball sandwich, and which was awesome. I thought it was great. Better than a burger, but that seafood salad I just stuck on my little hotel fridge, and like many people, it was still there when I checked out.
No.
So if by chance the maid doesn't clean out the fridge, hey, what can you do? So Donna, do you want to tell the listeners about what you did on Friday night?
Yeah. So we went, when I left you, I went and met Joe. We went to WCSB, the radio station, and Joe was on the air for probably close to an hour with Ray Carr, who is a wonderful DJ. And
but did he ask the question? The same old question. So how did you come to write this book? Did they? Poor Joe.
I don't remember. Well, Joe's been on Ray's show a couple of times, so
maybe he did.
Yeah, so I think, but I can't remember. That night he was actually filling in for a different show, like a 60s radio show. So he might have asked Joe to give a little overview. And it was just really fun. He was so nice. He had like gifts for us and all sorts of stuff. And he gave away a book on the air, and it was just really good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. And so then from there we went somewhere in there. I did another wardrobe change.
Oh, you had to take a poo.
No. I actually changed my clothes.
Oh, okay.
And we went out to Diane Aiken's house, and she was throwing a little private party for Joe and the book, because she, if you guys don't know already, she grew up with Ben. She met Ben when she was really young, and their families were really close, and she was instrumental in helping Joe get the book, the stories told, and she contributed a lot of photographs and stuff. She was really, really great, and she has been so kind to me and to the fans that have come to Cleveland. She's just very sweet and wonderful. So, so we went over there.
I don't know if I told you this or not, but she sat with me and Kurt and Nat and Rock Hall Robin for dinner.
Nice.
At the Music Box.
Very nice. Yeah, she's just the sweetest lady. And Neil too, her husband Neil is just great. So, and they're just fun. And so we had a little party kind of thing over there, a little gathering, and there were some other people there from Ben's past that we got to meet, and that brought photograph albums and different things. So it was just really a precious time of getting to see more of Ben when he was young, and it was really neat. So that's what I did. And then Friday night, I think I just came back. I don't remember what time I got back to the hotel, but it wasn't too late, and then I just crashed and went to bed.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much how I how I did it too.
Yeah.
Just kind of fell asleep watching TV, which I never get to do at home.
Yeah. Well, and because Saturday morning you had an early appointment.
I did. Because Saturday morning we had to get together and talk podcast
Yes.
and pretend to eat breakfast. What did I?
You got some bowl of like dry kashi cereal or something you
It was-
just dumped into your mouth.
I just just what else was I gonna do? Like
Yeah, they didn't
so
have
I had that and a Mountain Dew.
a Mountain
And
Dew. I couldn't believe that.
yeah, are you drinking Mountain Dew this early? Well, it's my coffee. What can I say?
Yeah, and there's me sucking down my coffee, my actual
Yeah.
coffee.
But that was a nice place, the Aloft Hotel.
Yeah.
Very nice lobby area, very industrial looking, and so we got to sit there in front of a great big giant guitar and talk podcasts and so forth, and kind of get ourselves ready for the turbocharged screening.
Yes, we did go in and test that the laptop was going to hook up to the TV and the movie was going to play and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I do apologize to people who were in Cleveland who weren't able to come to the turbocharged screening, because the short story on it is that I knew I was going to Cleveland. I asked Mr. Juskow, hey, would it be cool if we did a screening of Turbocharge during this event? He's like, yeah, and he's always very very generous with us. And so when I called and asked them, hey, what can you do so I can show this movie? And they said, oh, put it on a flash drive and it'll play in our TVs. So, I get there Friday, and that's the first thing I do before I even go to my room. That's what took me so long to get up to my room. I'm in there with a flash drive and that stupid TV trying to get it to work. And they finally got like the tech guy down there, and he's like, well, that's not going to work. I'm like, yeah, I see that. It's not going to work. And then it's like, it's like one of those deals where somebody tells you the most obvious thing, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't even think of that. Because our plan B was, if we couldn't get it to show on the great big 42-inch screen TV, was just to play it on Donna's little laptop and, everybody kind of huddle around. But he said, well, you can just hook up a laptop to this, to the HDMI port. Like, oh, hell yeah. I didn't even think of that. And so that's what we did. When we got together Saturday morning, we went to check that out and to see if it would work. And I got to run a little victory lap when we got it. But the reason we didn't put a big cattle call out until that day was, we didn't want to put it out there and have, 20, 30 people show up, and then all we've got to play it on is a little laptop. So we had to make sure it was going to work, and that's when I put the cattle call out there saying, hey, if anybody wants to see it, you can come.
Well, and then remember, the HDMI cord that they had didn't even fit my laptop, though. Luckily,
Yes.
I brought
Yes.
one that did fit, and so it was like, even that was a little bit of a, oh no, this doesn't work. Oh, wait, this one will. So that was.
And so it was so cool. But we had, let's see, we had Rock Hall Robin and her friend Sean.
Yes.
Poor Sean without his Heartbeat City CD.
I know. Well, the poor guy, I actually felt sorry for him because we were immediately like, Sean, you need to contact them and set this
Dude,
right.
Sean, get on it.
Do you think that's why he took off so fast after it was over? He went up in smoke. He disappeared. I didn't know where he went.
I don't think so. But that's the cool thing about it, though, is that, and I'm sure you can attest to this with during the Rock Hall festivities in April, that you've got all these people that you're friendly with in social media, and then it's like you can just pick right up, where you left off. There wasn't any uncomfortableness about it or anything.
Right.
You just know these people, and so we knew about Sean and his poor Heartbeat City missing CD, and we're like, yeah, Sean, dude, you need to contact Rhino, man, and get on that. We'll do it. Let us take a picture of you, and I'll tweet them or whatever, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, no, I don't think he wanted any part of that. He's probably a little overwhelmed.
He might have been.
Yeah, but we had Rock Hall Robin and Sean. We had Judy, the official lawyer of Night Thoughts.
Yes.
We had Becky.
Yes.
We had Becky's germs. We had we had Kurt, our buddy Kurt, and his wife. I don't know if Kurt wants to say his wife's name on the air, so I don't think we should.
Okay.
His wife's name is Gertrude. Gertrude Gaber.
But we
Don't
just
make
call her Gertie.
Gertie, yeah. And was that everybody?
I think so, yeah. It was just a small group of us.
So just a small group of people, and we had set up the chairs. Kurt helped me set up the chairs and move tables, and we had it all set and ready. And we started off with all the pictures that Kurt showed us, which were really cool.
We did the movie first.
Oh, did we?
Uh-huh.
I thought we started with the pictures.
No, but before that, Kurt had brought a bunch of swag, remember?
Oh, yeah. Hey.
And so we had that all laid out.
Major swag. And yes, I had some Night Thoughts stuff, and Kurt brought all his, decals and stuff that he had, given away in the past, and we just had a whole table filled out. So everybody who came there was still a lot left over, which is what I ended up sending BB.
Nice.
Kurt just, here, take all this extra stuff and send it to people.
Yeah.
So BB, that swag that I sent you, that came from Cleveland.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he had that new one for that Let's Go sticker with that picture of Ben on it. That was a new one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, so we played the turbocharge, and it was, the thing about it is, Donna, you and I have talked about many a time about we got to see this movie together.
Yes. And
the thing about it is that with all these people around us who had never seen it before, I was subdued.
Me too.
I was just like, I couldn't geek out over it like I wanted to watching it with you, because I would end up being one of those people, that saying the lines before they come and then saying them a trillion times after, and, that kind of thing. So it's like really subdued.
That's so funny, because I was the same way. I mean, I did whisper to you a couple of times.
Yes.
But I was like, oh my gosh, if all these other people weren't here, we would be pausing it and rewinding it and just laughing our heads off.
Laughing our asses off, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing that was a real joy for me was being able to share that movie with those people, and the fact that they got it.
Yes.
They got the movie, just like we get the movie. And, we said before when we did the Turbocharge episode that, you have to look at it a certain way to get it. And everyone got it. But I was just overjoyed at the people laughing at the parts that we thought were funny and so forth. I think probably the part that people laughed at the most was the Warhol Ocasek scene. But I just picked up the phone, and called him, and he said, okay. that part. and then we're all trying to lip sync to Hello Again. I mean, I just think that was probably the biggest part. But
oh my gosh, it's so funny.
It's just hilarious.
I wish that there had been time for us to watch it again separately.
Yes.
Because it would have been a different experience. Although, like you said, I loved getting to share it. And every time anybody snickered or laughed at part of it, I was just like, yes. And,
yes, they get it.
Oh, yes. And I totally wanted to turn around a whole bunch of times and be like, did you hear him say this? Do you understand that one? Get it? Get it? I was just like, okay, control yourself, Dee.
Very cool. Very cool. So, big thanks to Dave Jeskow for letting us do that and share that with our fellow fans.
Yes.
It was just really cool. And plus, it's a big deal for me to see that on a big screen. Yeah. I'd only watched it on my laptop.
Oh, so, okay.
It was a really big deal to see it that big and HD and, that kind of stuff. So
yeah. Very cool.
So then after that's when Kurt shared his pictures and so forth, which was really awesome.
Yes, that was really sweet of him to do that.
We saw a lot of pictures that he had gotten from Diane and
Diane Page.
Yep, Diane Page, and there's a lot of them that we'd never seen before.
Yeah.
which was very cool. And plus the fact that, he's putting them on this 42-inch screen so you could really see them.
Yes.
And point out stuff. And I know a lot of people were just holding themselves back from rushing the TV.
Oh, I know.
Some of these pictures.
Namely me.
Yeah, well, I think Becky was about ready to come out of her seat, too. Pretty sure. She was sketching. Hey, didn't you sketch pictures? Can I sketch these pictures? Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool.
It was really cool. I had to resist the urge to ask Kurt, can I have a copy of that slideshow?
No!
No, I know. I would never ask him, but it was very, very neat.
Yeah, really cool. So that was just kind of like a little bonus for people who came to see Turbocharged, to see that.
Yeah.
And so thank you, Kurt, for doing that. And thanks for all the swag that you brought, too.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
Very much appreciated.
So I think the turbocharged thing ended, I don't know what time, but
I had to skedaddle out of there.
You had to skedaddle, and then I had to go up and actually change my shirt.
Oh, you're the only one that does a real wardrobe change. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, well, you're the one doing the wardrobe changes. Remember, you did more wardrobe changes than what the heck's her name? Can't even think of her name. The diva singer. You had like 3 different outfits on that day. J-Lo, yeah, J-Lo. And but I
stuff going on. I had to.
Of course. I went up, changed shirts, and then I went to God, I can't remember. I went with Kurt and his wife, and God, talk about you talk about your rental car. They had like a tissue box car, whatever those are called.
Oh.
And so he said Kurt texts me and says, "Hey, we're down here waiting in the valet area." Okay, I don't have no idea what kind of car he has, right?
Right.
So I come out of the hotel and I look off to the left. There's a car sitting there, and there's somebody in the car. And like I'm doing like the hitchhiking sign. I'm doing like the hey, come on, pick me up, buddy, whatever. And then it sets in that, oh shit, this isn't Kurt. I look down to my right and I see a bunch of cars. I'm like, well, which one's Kurt? So I had to walk down. It's like being at Cleveland Airport again. Yeah. And I'm looking in each car as I go by. And finally, I see Kurt. Like, oh dear God. People think I'm nuts.
Yeah.
So, but we went back and went to his hotel, which was downtown, and which was interesting because we parked in a parking garage and then we had to walk to the hotel. And on our way into the hotel, there was a man who was obviously, I will say, destitute and crazy as hell.
Oh.
He was standing kind of in our way. We kind of walked around him, but he was laughing. And then I made the comment of, at no point did I hear anybody make a joke.
Jeez, Dave.
He was just laughing, but their hotel was beautiful, just beautiful. And I can't remember. Yeah, it was inside their hotel area that there was like a little bar that we sat in there for a little while, and then we took off and went to the music box.
Nice.
Which is where the Orr book event was.
Yes. Let's see. And I went back to my hotel and changed my clothes really quick. And just made sure I had all my stuff. And then I also headed toward the music box. And I got lost because I'm not a GPS person. But also because, I do love Cleveland so much. But one of my struggles has been their signage. Although I only got lost the once this weekend, that trip. Whereas the time before, I seemed like I got lost twice a day. But I just I had a hard time figuring out which street was Detroit. And so then I finally figured it out and was so happy to see the lit up music box sign. Because I was running late at that point because I had gotten turned around.
Yeah, and it's really weird because, I picked my hotel because it was right across the freaking river from the music box, okay?
Yes.
But in order to get there, you have to go around and down and up and all over the place to find the music box. And Kurt used GPS, and we got there. But man,
Yeah, and then it's weird. It's like you're sort of down by the river right there, and so it just has a funky vibe. Like you just don't feel like you're at a place that's going to have this really great supper club.
yes,
But then you go inside, and it was great inside. It was just a fun atmosphere, and they've got the downstairs venue and then the upstairs stage, and
yeah,
it was really a neat place. It just from the outside, I was like, oh boy.
yeah, and see, like the upstairs where the book event was had all kind of foofy kind of food on their menu, and the downstairs place had burgers, okay, and all that kind of stuff. And so, and I think even Diane's husband was saying, well, I don't see anything on that menu I want to eat or whatever. It's like, we're going in here once, join
Yeah.
us. And so a bunch of us were in there, and they had like a blues band that were going to play, and they were, warming up and so forth. So we had some good music for that. But I'll tell you what, that burger was the best freaking burger I've ever had in Cleveland. Well, actually, it's the only freaking burger I've had in Cleveland. But I mean, it was awesome. That was a good burger. Which reminds me, I never went to the Melt Bar and Grilled.
Oh,
Did you ever go to that place?
no.
Oh man, tell you what, best grilled cheese ever.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't.
And I mean ever. I should have hit up Rock Hall Robin.
Yeah.
So I know she's gone there. But yeah, man, I wanted to go back there, but oh well.
Well, let's see. So I got there. I think I saw you guys right when you arrived, didn't I?
Yes.
It wasn't because I went upstairs, found Neil and Diane and Joe. We were waiting for David Spiro, and then yeah, I saw you guys come in, and so we said our hey hellos and stuff. And Deanna Adams came there for dinner. She's a Cleveland author that writes rock and roll books. Do you know who Deanna Adams is?
I do not.
Well, I was standing on the stairs and saw her come in, and I sort of geeked out a little bit because I'm a big fan of hers, and got to take my picture with her and chit chat with her and stuff. And so that was really cool. I was kind of jealous that you guys were going in there to go eat. I was like, oh, there's so many times when I wish I could be in two places at once because so much was going on, and I would have loved for Joe and I to be able to sit down there and hang out and eat and stuff. That would have been really fun.
While we're eating, a little tugboat starts coming down the river, right? And everybody's like, oh, wow, look at that tugboat. And then then we realized behind the tugboat was this big ass ship. And it was such a big ship that with all those windows that were down there was a point in time where you could see nothing but ship in the window. That's how big the ship was. And guys like, me and Kerr, we don't see many ships up close like that. We're just like, wow.
Pressing your face to the glass.
Yeah. And I should also mention that it started snowing about that time that we got there too.
Yes.
So
Snow started coming down. Yeah. So while you guys are doing that, David Spiro arrived. Well, Joe and I went up and we tested the slideshow on the walls. I was so happy to see how it just, the room, it just couldn't have been better. It was so great. So the rustic wooden tables and a nice sized stage, and then they had that bar off to the other side where just a nice big long bar. I'm assuming the service was really good, and I saw servers, all night long going back and forth to tables and stuff, and we watched the slideshow. It was perfect. The sound was great, and made some arrangements with the sound guys and stuff, and then David Spiro got there, and so we said, okay, well, here, let's go up on the stage and see, where do you want me to give you the time cues and all of that stuff, and figured out. And of course, the band was already there. They were in the green room eating dinner, and so, we're running into them here and there and getting to say hi and meet the two fill-in guys, and it was just all so exciting. It was so, it just, the anticipation was building. It's getting closer. What time is it? And okay, people are starting to arrive. They were coming in and getting their seats, and just that build-up was so neat. It was just, my energy was really high.
yeah, it was pretty awesome. And I was in the table right in front of the stage. Yeah, I guess it was right in front of the stage. Kurt and his wife were at the table. God, who else was at my table?
Chris.
A couple ladies in front of me that I didn't know.
Chris
Yeah, Chris.
Chris Z. I don't know if I can say people's names or whatever.
Yeah,
She was there.
and a friend of hers was sitting across from her,
Hmm.
and then me, and then there was an older guy. I never figured out who he was, but he was obviously a big fan. And yeah, so that was our table. A couple tables over, Becky's crew was at their table. And it's one of those deals where it's kind of like high school reunion time because I'm looking around to see if there's people that I recognize.
Yes.
And I couldn't see, too many people. And once the show started, you're not looking around too much, but
Right.
it was kind of neat.
Yeah. There was, well, I know Sandy was there and another gal, Lori. Again, I just don't want to say last names. I don't want people to get fried. But and then Kendra, there was a gal named Kendra and her sister, I think. And yeah, and it was the same kind of thing for me. Like I'm looking around, but I don't want to act like a weirdo. And people don't know who I am either. So it was just this awkward, like I want to go up to people, but I don't. And
Yeah, and I didn't realize Lori was even there until I saw her Wilma O purse,
yes.
and I saw it sitting on the table. I'm like, whose is this?
It's so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool to see in person.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so then the night kind of got started and well, it was just neat as other people were arriving and there were people I wanted to meet and didn't get to and then people I didn't know were there that I was so glad to get to meet and a lot of guys that had played in bands with Ben when he was a kid and it was just really great to see what a turnout there was and what a variety of people from the ones in social media that we interact with to complete strangers to friends and family that grew up with Ben, to just, moving in stereo, the band members, their families were there, and Matt's dad was there. I didn't get a chance to meet him, but I really wanted to. And so, there's just a huge variety, and I was hoping my personal goal when I was booking the event and, doing all the behind the scenes stuff was, okay, 200. If we have a turnout of 200, I'll consider that a success, and that's what I'm really shooting for. And oh, please, I hope we get 200. We had about 300 people there, and so
Wow.
yeah, so it was just beyond my expectations. It was really exciting to see the place fill up and everybody interacting with each other and having such a good time. It was so great.
Incredible. And so when the program started, did it start with a slideshow first?
Well, yeah, David Spiro came out first. I think he spoke a few words about how he knew Ben and his connection with everything, and then he introduced the slideshow,
which was awesome. And then he had Joe come out.
Yep, and then he brought Joe.
And I'm sure like everybody, I've listened to a lot of interviews with Joe about the book and so forth. But it's a whole different thing to see a live interview. With them right in front of you.
Yeah.
It was, and it was an emotional thing. Because, well, one thing is I'm the type of guy that when I see somebody else get emotional, especially another guy, I'll get emotional.
Yeah.
It's like that. You ever see that episode All in the Family where Archie Bunker starts crying over Edith's slipper? Oh my God. Look it up on YouTube, all right? I guarantee you'll cry.
I'll make a note.
Just Archie Bunker cries over Edith's slipper. I'll just cry like a baby watching it. And so there's Joe and he's getting verklempt, talking about his long journey and so forth, and I was feeling it too. But the thing that really struck me at that point in time was that we had all these people that were there for one reason, one person, and they were family, and they were friends, and they were fans, and all together honoring this one person.
Yeah.
And then to make it even more emotional, it's in his hometown.
Yeah.
And it was just like, whoa! It just kind of hit me all at once. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
This it's just incredible.
Yeah, it was a big deal. And when I was, preparing for the event and trying to I wanted to put together something that was worthy of Ben, you know. And I've never organized anything like this before. So it's like, how do you really make a book event that's going to reflect the person that you're focusing on and that you're honoring? And then to, I guess I kind of wrote about this a little bit, but then to realize at the end, it wasn't anything that had to do with me really. It was all these people coming together on Ben's behalf, and that's what made it about Ben.
Yeah.
Not the venue, not the slideshow. Oh, I mean, the slideshow contributes, but you know what I mean? None of that stuff was what made it about Ben. It was all the people that were there just loving on Ben.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool.
The only thing I wished you could have done, but there's it would have taken so much time, and you know how they shut us down in the end.
Yeah, lights
They're
out.
shutting the lights, yeah. But it would have been so cool just to invite people up to tell Ben's stories.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure there's friends and family who, might tell stories that weren't in the book,
Mm-hmm.
or, fans like ourselves that had brushes with Ben and so forth that would make, great stories.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have done that. I was just kind of waiting too. I was like, if they ask if anybody wants to come up and say anything, I'm up there, man. I'm up there.
Well, and Joe did get to experience that quite a bit, sitting out at the table. And the bummer is, for both of us, we didn't get to watch very much of the live music of Moving in Stereo, but Joe out there at the table, he was spending 5 to 10 minutes sometimes with people, because one gal like brought a photograph of her and Ben and Ben's wife Chris, who they weren't married at the time, but it was even before he was married to her, and talked to Joe about the photo. And another one was Ben's girlfriend back in the day. And, someone else, my dad knew Ben, and I'm here to honor, my dad's place because he can't be here. I can't remember if he had passed away or what the story was. But,
Wow.
people were bringing those things to Joe. And he, as they're asking him to sign the book, and he was signing books I brought this book for someone who, who has this story. Can you write this, can you sign it for them? And just things like that, just really neat. Joe got to experience, I can't imagine as an author, as a biographer, just how that had to have felt for him.
Yeah.
To have these people giving their gifts to Joe. Here's more. Here's more. I mean, it's just really cool. Really, really cool.
It's one thing to be have a recorded interview that people listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing to interact with people on social media.
Yeah.
But for him to be there in person,
Mm-hmm.
interacting with people, it must have just been incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And I can remember telling Joe, man, you did awesome. It was just, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the best interview that you've done, and probably the hardest.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he was pretty nervous. He was pretty nervous.
I feel sorry that you guys didn't get to see much of the show, because probably usually when people go to a concert and they don't remember any of it or don't get to see it, they're usually drunk, passed out.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that.
No.
Well, the saving grace is that we had seen them play live in April, where we were just sat in the audience and watched the whole show, and that was great. So we've experienced their awesomeness.
Yeah.
And we should talk about them because,
Of course.
they
Moving in Stereo.
rock. They rock.
They're just incredible. Just incredible.
I'm so glad you got to hear them.
The thing that I think is really the key to this band, I hope the guys are listening,
Me too.
is that they are so technically accurate when it comes to the playing.
Mm-hmm.
And they can, the vocals, they can do whatever with, but when it comes to, the lead parts and the little guitar riffs and the little clicks and all those kinds of things,
Yes.
they nail it. And, I'm sitting there listening to them to play song after song and, waiting for a part to come in, and I look over at the person who's supposed to be playing it, and boom, they're playing it. And it just blew my mind. Because, usually when guys are playing live bands, there's differences. They might have their own style. They might want to make it more their own.
Mm-hmm.
But, you're talking about emulating Elliot Easton. you know,
Right.
and doing the stuff that he does, and Greg Hawkes and Dave Robinson's drumming and Rick Ocasek's, you know, guitar work, and it blew me away. I was
Yeah.
just in awe
Yeah.
the entire time. There wasn't, and their the, all their song choices were great.
Yes.
Although they didn't play Candy O, whoever that
In
was,
spite of the.
after every song, Candy O, Candy O. It's
Yeah, I
like,
heard about that.
what do you think this is, Freebird? What are you yelling, Freebird? Candy O is the Freebird of the Cars?
Apparently.
I was going to try and find that person who was yelling it, and because I have, you know, of course, the whole Cars catalog on my phone, I was going to go play it for them just so they could hear it. Yeah, Candy O.
That's so funny.
Oh dear God, just play Candy O.
I was just, yeah, put him out of his misery. Well, and it's okay. So, just for the facts, for those people who don't know, Moving in Stereo is made up of Matt Fuller on bass and co-lead vocalist. Danny Ayala is on rhythm guitar and is co-vocalist. So Matt's kind of the Ben, Danny is the Rick, and then we have Bob Heaslett, who is the Elliot. He plays lead guitar.
He freaking rocks.
Oh my gosh, he's so good. He's so good. They're all so good. And then their drummer is Noah Patera, but he was not there for that book event. He actually had his dad hat on that night. One of his kids had their first gig, from what I understand. So he was. I wouldn't have wanted him to miss that for the world. So he was gone, and filling in for him was Brian Beyer. And then on keyboards is usually Lars Altvader, who had a prior commitment that ended up falling through. So Lars was there that night, but with all class and professionalism, he, rather than pulling off the person they had hired to fill in for him, he let that person play. And that was Joshua Hartman, filled in on keyboards that night. And Lars kind of roamed around and met people and took photographs and was there on site for the whole night, which was great.
Yeah.
And even
with his Ben shirt.
With his Ben shirt, yes, that's right, the arrow, the black T-shirt with the arrow. Even with those two fill-ins, Brian and Josh, those guys did such a great job. They having stand-ins did not diminish the quality of that band at all. Those guys
Not at all.
rose to the challenge because those are big shoes to fill, and they did it. Josh was telling me that he had 3 weeks to learn the music because he was not very familiar with the Cars music at all. So in 3 weeks, he practiced his little heart out and learned those parts, and he did great. He did great. So, and Brian, on Gimme Some Slack, I watched a video of that later. Oh, Brian just killed it on that. Yeah.
Incredible to hear that song live.
I know, right?
And they just nailed it. Just nailed it.
Well, and it helps that Panorama is Danny's favorite album. So, I mean, and they all love the Cars. That's the thing. All 5 of those guys love the Cars. And that's, you said that about them being technically on point. And that, more than anything, that was their whole goal, was to recreate the music as true to the Cars as they could, not trying to look like them, not trying to act like them, but that if someone came to one of their shows, the music they would hear would be as close to hearing the Cars live as you could possibly get. And I think they nail it. They do.
Yeah. And I would be lying if I said there weren't times during that concert that I closed my eyes and just listened. And it was just incredible.
Yeah. Oh,
just incredible.
So good. And their catalog, like you said, I mean, they play things from beginning to end. For them to pick songs other than, and even Touch and Go, which is a very technically difficult song to play.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was.
And It's All I Can Do.
Fantastic.
I did hear them playing It's All I Can Do. And
yes.
my heart just about burst because you don't hear that song live.
No, you don't.
So how wonderful to hear them play it. So great.
But we did, yeah.
Yeah.
Great song.
And Matt does a great job with Ben's vocals.
Mm-hmm.
He really does.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. And then, okay, so during the night, as I was kind of roaming around, I did Lars was talking to John Gardina, who goes by Johnny Joe, and I want to say it was John's son, but some relative, maybe a nephew. But those three guys were talking, and I was kind of like, "Hey, what's up, you guys?" And Lars was trying to convince Johnny Joe to get up on the stage and play bass for one of the songs. And Johnny Joe, who's a very humble and sweet man, was like, "Oh no, I don't think that I should really do that." And I was like, "Johnny Joe, you've got to do it. You got to get up there. It'll be so great." And then I went off to go do whatever. And so I saw him a couple times during the night. It was like, "Johnny Joe, you're going to do that, right?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I don't know. And then I guess later even Joe ran into him, and he had heard that they were trying to get Johnny Joe on stage, and he was like, "Oh, you got to do it. You got to do it." And so Johnny Joe finally was like, "Okay, I'll do it for Ben. Go up there and do it for Ben." And so they played that encore of Drive with Johnny Joe on the bass, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
For having never played with these guys before.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he still plays. He plays in his own bands and stuff quite regularly. So it's not like he hadn't picked up a bass for a while. But you're playing with four other guys that you've never had to lock with before. He did great. It was so cool to see him up there playing that song.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, they had everybody come up, you and Joe included.
Yes, which was so nice. That was a surprise.
And Gertie took that great picture.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
which I
by
have
the
used.
Way, yeah, which you have used, yeah. It was very nice to meet Kurt's wife. Well, it was very nice to meet Kurt.
Yes.
It was very nice to meet his wife. His wife is awesome.
Isn't she great?
Awesome. Yes,
yeah.
she is.
Yeah. I love them both. And it's so funny. That was the second time I got to see them in person. But, once you do, and I already felt like I knew them, particularly not Gertie so much, but I felt like I knew Kurt from social media. And then you meet them in person, and there's this cementing that happens of this friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And now Kurt is just so much, just like you, just this everyday person in my life.
Yeah.
Like not different than someone who lives in my town. I mean, you don't just I don't know, you just feel like you know them your whole life, and they're just friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. But it was really cool to see everybody up there and have that picture taken, of course. And I'm in the picture too. If you look at the picture,
your fluffy hairdo.
And it's funny because I'd seen that picture, like 4 or 5 times going through Facebook, and then I realized, oh shit, that's me.
That's right.
That's the back of my head. Well, when do you ever look at the back of yourself?
I know, right?
I recognize myself.
Well, I only knew it was you because I knew you were sitting right there. So I was like, oh yeah, that's Dave.
Yeah, there I am.
There he is.
Yeah, a lot of people took good video and took nice pictures and putting those up. But after it was all over, we had some time to mingle around and there was that. Oh, I got to tell this story because I'm such a dumbass. The point in time where you come out, you say, Dave, come backstage. There's somebody I want you to meet. Like, okay. And you took me back there, and who did I meet?
You met M.
Okay. And I was like, hi, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And then when I came back out later, it's like, Donna, who the hell did I just meet? Who was it? Who was that? You're like, well, it's in the book. And blah, what? Heck, I don't remember.
Sorry.
Very nice lady, though. Very nice
lady.
Very,
very nice, yes. And her grandson was there.
And her grandson was there. Yeah, very, very nice. She hugged me goodbye. Hey,
Oh, nice. Good.
Just goes to show you how friendly Cleveland people are.
They are, yes.
And but yeah, I thought it was kind of like I just met somebody backstage. I don't know who the heck it was.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's always nice to go backstage, though. Hey.
Yeah. And then you had you already met the guys in the band at that point or not? I think I introduced you to a couple of them.
Well, I think Matt had come out, and I ran into him.
Okay.
I had run into Danny, I think, a little bit after that.
Okay.
I met Lars backstage.
Nice. Okay. Yes.
So that was.
I love those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that happened, I can't remember if I already told you this or not, but I got to meet several people that read my blog and people that listen to our podcast, which was really fun. And one gal, she was standing in line to get a book signed by Joe, and I was kind of checking and making sure, did he need more ice water and what else going on out here. And she said, "Oh, are you Donna? Are you Sweet Purple June?" And I said, "Yeah." And her name was Deborah. And she said, "I brought you a gift. I brought this specifically for you." And she pulled out a little velvet pouch, and inside it was a necklace with a pendant, and the pendant is in the shape of the state of Ohio. And she lives there in Cleveland, and lives there, and I think she's in Cleveland. And she said, "Oh, I just, wanted to give you this," and I can't remember exactly what she said about, I think just knowing that I had such a fondness for Cleveland and that I would, have good memories of it and stuff. And I just thought that was the sweetest thing.
Yeah.
The sweetest thing. She totally
Very
gave
nice.
me a little gift. I know. Cleveland people. So great.
Well, from what I've seen on Facebook, you've been you've been collecting the gifts for quite a while.
Oh my goodness, aren't people so great?
Do you have your own eBay store now?
Oh, I would never get rid of that stuff.
Rundgren would.
Well, those are all ones that I've posted. I'm so far behind. I have stuff from like April that people gave me surrounding Rock Hall and posters, and I never even posted the Chris Morris prints that he sent and all sorts of stuff. I'm so far behind. Of course, Rock Hall Robin gave me my unicorn mug, and yeah, I feel really bad. I've neglected, because I really am grateful for things people give me. I think everyone's so thoughtful and kind, and
Yeah.
so I'll be posting pictures of more stuff.
Oh, and Rock Hall Robin gave us the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame CD.
Yes, that's right.
Those are kind of cool.
Yes, those are really cool. Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
And then of course she gave me those stickers on Sunday, which I guess we haven't quite gotten to Sunday yet, but
Rock Star.
Yeah, Rock Star.
Yeah, so that was the end of the evening for me, and the only way I can describe it was it's like when Christmas is over.
Mm.
That was the feeling. I'm back in my hotel room. I'm wired for sound. And it's like, wow, what do I do now, man? It's like, wow.
I know.
And it took a while for me to get to sleep, but yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, it was such a bummer to have to say goodnight to you because I knew I wouldn't see you again that weekend. That was like, bye. Yeah.
And I never saw him again, though I had to listen to him over and over and over
for another 58 episodes.
Yeah.
No, gosh, Dave, it was just so great to get to see you in person, to meet you in person, because like you said, it's just a continuation of a relationship that already exists.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There's lots of people who podcast who never meet each other in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, because they're on opposite ends of the country and so forth, and it just never happens.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's a cool thing because, you, as you said, you kind of strengthen a friendship and you're able to have, more familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Yeah, familiar with a person, and you can kind of imagine what their facial expressions are.
And imagine yourself getting whacked on the shoulder and
yeah. Or as I said, I really wanted to see you roll your eyes in person.
Did I? I can't remember if I did or not.
I don't. I think you did when I said, "Oh, does that mean you're going to go up and take a shit?" When you said you had to change.
I'm sure I rolled my eyes.
I've got to go. I've got to change. Oh, you mean you got to take a shit, right?
I'm sure you got punched for that one. Well, that's the thing. It's funny. I was nervous to meet you in a way. Like, I don't know why, but so I pull up in front of your hotel. I see you standing on the curb, jump out, and I'm like hugging you, and then I have to hug you again, and then it's like, okay, I'm nervous for like 2 seconds, and then it was just all natural. It was just, like I said, just a continuation of our friendship, and so.
Yeah. The only thing I was nervous about was the fact that you could possibly have not put your car into park before you jumped
when I
out.
jumped out. It's a distinct possibility.
Oh, it's so good to see you, Donna. Oh, shit, there goes your car.
Smash. Yikes.
Valet.
No, that was, yeah, it's just, what a great experience. So yeah, it was weird saying goodnight at the end of the night, and then after everybody left, Joe and I talked for a minute, but Diane and he had driven there with Diane and Neil, and they were done. They were worn out, and so we didn't hang around very much at all. And of course the snow was coming down. It was quite deep by that point, so I headed back to the hotel. And talk about the best burger of your life. I got back to the hotel. I was starving. I had not eaten all day. I had maybe some huckleberry taffy at the thing, but I didn't eat it. Turbocharge, I didn't eat it all. So I got back to the hotel and nothing's open. I don't want to try to go drive away again and try to find anything. So the concierge gives me here's an all-night delivery place. So it's a place called Rascals. I ordered a Rascal Burger. Oh,
A rascal
a
burger.
Rascal Burger. I'll never forget. I brought the menu home with me. Oh, it was the best burger ever. It took like, I don't know how long, almost an hour probably before it got to me. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning when I finally ate it, but it was this toasted bun, bacon, juicy burger. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And I sat there, my ears were still kind of ringing, and like you, I was still just kind of high on the whole night, and I just sat there eating my Rascal Burger and watching who knows what on TV. And
Was it delivered by a guy wearing a raccoon costume? Because that's what I'm imagining.
No, no.
Here's your tip, you rascal. Scurry.
Well, I'm sure I totally overtipped him too because I was so happy to get it. I was just like, here, just keep the change. Give me my burger. It smelled so good and it tasted so yummy. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure he was like, lady, what is your problem? Oh, it was good.
So you had like all day Sunday. Didn't your flight leave like later Sunday?
Yeah. So yeah, I woke up, I slept in, kind of, and then I woke up and had to check out and everything. Oh, and then I headed over to the Rock Hall because Joe was going to go. I knew I was going to get to go meet Wayne Weston and hang out at his house for a little bit with Joe, but before that he was going to go visit Chris Camberoff. And they did say I could go visit, but Chris isn't in very good health, and I just didn't think that was really appropriate. I'd never met him before, and I didn't want it to be awkward. So Joe and I talked, and so Joe was going to go visit Chris. So I went over to the Rock Hall. I checked out of my hotel and visited Rock Hall. Robin again. I ran into Judy and Becky there, and we went and toured around a little bit again, and I saw some of the stuff I hadn't seen before, and until I got a message from Joe saying he was heading to Wayne's. So then I went from there over to Wayne's, and him and his wife are just, his wife Bonnie, they're sweetest people, and so we hung out there for a little while, and we actually even had him play us some drums, because he still got his drums set up downstairs, and he does a lot of artwork now, a lot of painting, as we look through his paintings and stuff, and it was just really neat. He's a funny guy. And so then from there I went to the airport, and I think I can't remember what time my flight left, just before 6, I think. So that was how I spent the rest of my Sunday. And your flight left early on Sunday morning?
Yeah, and that's when I first saw the Ben Rock Hall.
Oh yeah.
Thing. It was right across from my gate, and my flight out of Cleveland, it wasn't even full. I mean, I had an empty seat next to me. Once I got into O'Hare. Because the time changed and everything, like 11. And that's when the delays started.
That's right.
From my flight, back home. And so I was in O'Hare, let me think, like 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. And after a while, they're not posting anything. You're like, come on, man. Should I just rent a car and drive the rest of the way home? But that flight was packed at O'Hare. So, wow. And I've got a story from that flight that I'm going to share when we do a future episode. So remind me on that one. I got a story about that flight.
Well, how will I know when to remind you?
Oh, I've got it in show notes.
All right.
I'm working on show notes already. So yeah, it's interesting time. So yeah, so I got home and I came home to 8 inches of snow. So as soon as I got in, changed into some boots, went right back out and started snow blowing.
Yep. Yep.
That was fun.
Yikes.
But that's why I built in an extra day off
Oh, yes.
in my plans because I needed it that next day. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
The snow plow's already been through. I've got icebergs in front of my
Driveway.
house.
Yeah.
I had to shovel all that out. It's like, ugh. So that was that. But
Yeah.
all in all, an exceptionally good time. Glad I came.
I'm so glad you
Glad
came
I met
too.
the people. It was just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a great weekend. And I was getting sick on the way home. I had started losing my voice Saturday night, and Sunday wasn't quite in whisper mode, um, but yeah, by the time I got home, my voice was pretty much shot, and I just thought it was just my voice, and then like Monday or Tuesday, I started getting a cold, and it's just gone on since there. That's why I sound like I do right now. But even that just doesn't like I don't care. It was so worth
Yeah.
it. It was such a
Yeah.
great weekend. Yeah.
Oh. All right. So we've actually, Donna, we have a few things for the Midnight Scroll.
Really?
Although we don't have any emails that came in, I did post
Uh-oh.
on Facebook saying, "Hey, we're recording tonight. Does anybody have any questions?"
Oh,
So
okay.
we have 3 questions
Okay.
that we can do. So if you want to play that scroll music, we'll get to it.
Here we go.
Take me apart 'cause I'm out of control. Send me a letter on the midnight scroll.
All right. So our first question is from Becky. You might know her from your cold.
Well, and also that she was the true love of Benjamin Orr's life. Yes.
Yes, that too. It says we've been talking quite a bit about Ben's ever-changing accents and diction. You guys have any thoughts on that?
Oh,
Does she mean singing or talking?
probably talking. I posted, I have a YouTube video up of a live show that they did, and at the end of one of the songs, Benjamin is saying, we made these Cars posters, and you can get one on your way out, and blah blah blah. But he almost kind of sounds like the Fonz a little bit, and he's got like some sort of weird accent.
Hey.
A little bit. So then I think that kind of sparked a discussion on one of the groups about that. I just think he was a goofball. I mean, he does pronounce things differently.
Well, during the Agora show, he does that. I can see people here and up there, and something like that. And his voice he almost sounds British.
Yes, yeah, like he'll affect sort of a British accent from time to time. Yeah. And even if you listen to like the Grasshoppers, like the Pink Champagne song, and like, I don't know because I wouldn't think that he was as hugely influenced by the British invasion as, say, like Elliot Easton, because Ben was more rockabilly and seemed to me he had more of that background, but I don't know. Maybe he was trying to be. I don't know. I guess I just don't know. I don't know if it's purposeful because you listen to him talk in regular interviews and he just talks. He still has a little bit of weird pronunciations from time to time, but it's a normal diction. So I think in those live things, he's just maybe being a little bit of a goofball, a little bit of a showman.
Huh.
I don't know.
All right.
Those are my thoughts.
Well, our next question comes from Eleanor.
Okay.
And from her profile picture, I see it looks like her with her head on somebody's shoulder, or she's a parasitic twin, one of the two.
Dave.
It's a very nice picture. Anyway, her question is, any chance that Rick, David, or Elliot will come on as guests in the future? The episode with Greg was one of your best. He seems like a true gentleman. Rick, not a chance in hell. David, I don't know. It's a possibility. He might. If he's got a wild hair. Elliot, I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
It's not that we won't try, but I don't know if they do it.
well, I tend to be more optimistic, I think.
Like Roy Thomas Baker?
Come on, RTB! Any day now. I just know it. He's retweeting us like mad.
I know.
I don't know. I think it's fair to say that we've had other people contact us that also have some contact with Rick's camp and have said that they want to get Rick on the podcast. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's entirely impossible. Likely, yeah, probably not Rick. But I don't know. I stay optimistic. I do.
Yeah.
I
think
do.
we have a real good chance of having Greg on for a part 2.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that was a good experience for him. I hope, and
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Greg will be on for part 2, and I'm hopeful about the other guys. I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah. Well,
We do have some.
warm hands.
If I can just remind him, remember how you looked into my eyes and squoze my hands?
Yeah, which by the way, I guess I should fill people in on what one of my plans was, but I didn't get around to doing it, was to get some of those hand warmers and make my hands like fiery hot so that when I first met Donna, I could have hands warmer than David Robinson. But
that would have been awesome. Tell him about your other plan.
Oh, for the hump?
Yes.
To wear a hump and come out like Quasimodo. Donna, so nice to see you in person finally.
Wow, Dave.
Donna's so sweet. She would go with it and not say anything,
You look so different than your pictures.
But yeah, I was gonna have a hump and have Cars buttons on it, Look, I decorated my hump.
Just for you.
Just for you.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I would have done. Because I would have fallen for it. That's the thing. It's not that I'm all sweet and would have gone with it. I would have just been gullible and been like, oh, I had no idea. Okay, what do I do? And then I would have realized it, and you really would have got smacked hard.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
Our final question's from our lawyer, Judy,
Yes,
and the official lawyer of Night Thoughts. She asked, where can she get some more of that Huckleberry Taffy, Donna?
Ah, my sweet Judy.
Judy didn't fill her pockets enough.
I guess not.
At the turbocharge.
I will definitely send Miss Judy some Huckleberry Taffy. I'm putting it on my list.
Yeah. All right.
We call it, did you hear us? We were saying Wonder Twin Powers, but they're like Research Twin Powers. It was like fist bump because we're so alike in that way. So we'd be fist bumping each other.
Good enough.
Miss Judy, Huckleberry Taffy.
All right.
Okay, I put it
So,
on the list.
as you folks know, you can send us emails in. So just listen to the end of the show and you get all that information and so forth. But
Oh yes, with our new outro.
with our new outro, you got it.
Yes.
All right. So until next time, I don't know what's coming up next, but hey,
I do.
Do you? So in a couple weeks, we're going to be podcasting again, and hey, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
And before we go out, I will just say, because I'm giddy, that we have some special guests lined up for this spring. That's all I'm going to say.
In sync?
Oh, ew.
No?
No, not in sync.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, we do. We got some
We do.
some exciting people coming on, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Me too.
All right.
So, okay.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone, and Donna, take us out.
Bye.
The band got together a little Cars poster. We made it up between ourselves. There's something for you at the door on your way out. Not to say that we're finished.
Thank you for listening to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast. Wherever you found us, iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. Send us an email for the Midnight Scroll at nightthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. As always, Night Thoughts reserves the right to edit or not read an email on the air. You can follow us on Twitter at The Cars Podcast. Grab yourself a podcast t-shirt at tpublic.com/user/Night Thoughts. All the cool kids are wearing them. Oh, and finally, search for The Cars Night Thoughts on Facebook and join our group page. P.S. I am totally Team Rick.